Pragmata is a stylish sci-fi action-adventure with big set pieces and plenty of visual spectacle. Sadly, no Mac version for now, but there are absolutely ways to circumvent this. I'll tell you about the ones that worked for me, starting with the two that gave me the best experience on my M3 Max MacBook Pro. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the two methods that gave us best results. The first one is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. Pragmata is exactly the kind of big modern release that can punish local hardware fast, so Boosteroid makes a lot of sense here. When I tested it over a 60 megabit wireless connection, all worked as intended. At 1080p and high image quality, I played with almost no stream hiccups, and 4K also felt well, with only occasional image compression. Think of Boosteroid as the cheapest cloud option that still feels genuinely usable, which matters when the whole point is convenience. Of course, your internet is still your main limiting factor. A slow or wobbly connection gives you compression blur and extra input delay during hectic fights. Still, for people who don't mind cloud gaming as a whole, this is the easiest and most balanced way to play the game on a Mac. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. Crossover is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. So while Crossover is the best local route here, I'd only recommend it on newer and more powerful Apple Silicon. During tests on my 36GB M3 Max MacBook, I got between 55 and 70 FPS at 1080p and medium-high settings, with drops down to 40-ish FPS during heavy combat scenes with more effects. As a sensible minimum to get this game to run okay in Crossover, I would suggest an M2 Pro with 24 gigs. I'll give some performance boost suggestions in a bit, but it's safe to say that this game demands decent hardware specs. That said, Crossover still works very well for Pragmata, and I can recommend it if your Mac is up to the task. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. To use Crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install Crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with Crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. Whichever method you choose, the suggestions here can help improve your experience by making the cloud stream more stable, or by improving FPS if you are running the game locally. First, turn path tracing off, keep ray tracing off, and set global illumination to medium. That gives back the biggest chunk of smoothness when combat effects and bright indoor lighting stack up. Also, if you go for Crossover but DLSS causes freezing or hard hangs, turn it off and use FSR quality. The other methods are a variation of this theme. AirGPU is the rent a gaming PC by the hour option. You buy credit, spin up a Windows machine, then stream it through Parsec or Moonlight. You pay by the hour and prices vary depending on what machine you rent, but the average is around $1. Then you also need to pay for local storage, which is $3.50 per month per 50 gigabytes with a minimum of 100 gigs. Shadow PC is the subscription version of the same idea, where the lowest monthly subscription fee is $34 for US users, and it only goes up from there. EU users get a cheaper plan option that costs €20 per month, but that's still more than twice the monthly fee for Boosteroid's base plan. Sikaru Gear is the free DIY version of Crossover. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikaru Gear itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikaru Gear, just click the respective video in the description and it will show you exactly what to do. Here's how I'd look at the options. Boosteroid is the default pick for most people. It is the cheapest cloud service here, it keeps setup simple, and it fits a demanding game like this really well because your Mac is basically out of the equation. Shadow PC and AirGPU are also both decent options for Pragmata, and their flexibility means you can customize the entire experience to fit your exact hardware preferences. However, the end result won't be that much different compared to Boosteroid or GFN, so only go for these two if you really care about having more cloud customization options at your disposal. Crossover is the answer answer if local play matters more than convenience. You get lower reliance on internet quality, better offline flexibility, and the usual benefits of running it yourself. The trade-off is that this game is still like a newer, heavier release, so local play makes the most sense on stronger Macs and with a bit of restraint on settings. Cicera Gear is the free DIY path that requires more tinkering. It can do the same kind of job as Crossover, but right now I'd stick to the more reliable and stable local option unless I have time for active troubleshooting. So my simple recommendation is Boosteroid for ease and Crossover if local play is a priority and your Mac can handle the hardware load. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.